Hey guys, today I'm going to be cooking a dish that's going to be a replacement for Chinese food for me because I've really been wanting some Chinese food. So this is also a healthier alternative because I'm the one who's in control of everything that goes in there, and there's going to be less oils and frying and all that sort of thing. I'm going to be making a spicy orange chicken and broccoli with rice. I already have the rice going in a rice cooker. It's just 2 cups of water for this particular rice, about half a cup of rice, because if I put in more, it overflows and it's a bit of a mess. So I'm going to be referring to my recipe, which is what's over here. Originally, it was made with tofu in mind, but I'd rather have chicken. Tofu is a bean curd, and it's sold in like blocks. It's a healthy way to get protein, and it takes on the flavor of whatever sauce you put it in, whatever else is around it. I just prefer chicken. Vegetarians will eat tofu a lot, and that makes sense. Okay. So, the first thing I'm going to be starting with, is making my sauce. Forgot my grater. So, I already have the water in the bottom of the bowl because this calls for a tablespoon of warm water, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. So I'm going to be filling this 4 times with soy sauce. Soy sauce is very salty, so a lot of Asian cuisine uses this instead of salt. I'm pretty sure I got the reduced sodium version of this, so it's not as salty. So I have that, and then I have to put in 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. This is vinegar made with rice. 2 tablespoons honey, so I'm going to just transfer to a half tablespoon measurer, which means I'm going to use it 4 times, because each one is only half of what that big guy was. I just don't want to get anything else in my honey. This is honey right from Boston Lake. If you use local honey, it helps with allergies because the honey comes from local flowers, so it helps you build up a tolerance to them, and it helps out your allergies. The more you know, right? So that's why I get my honey local, because my allergies can be awful in the springtime. Nope, did exactly what I didn't want. Okay. Just not do that. I'm going to clean this off real quick. Separated it. Let's see what's next in my recipe. Half a teaspoon of chili garlic sauce. This adds a little heat. I'm only using the half teaspoon. You might be able to hear my rice start really going off in the background. And then I also need a tablespoon of cornstarch. So cornstarch is a thickening agent, so it'll help take this sauce and make it less watery. You can also use flour and it would have a similar result. So I'm going to mix this. I'm just going to use my tablespoon to kind of mix this up. The cornstarch is going to help thicken this. And then when I cook it with my meat and veggies, it will be delicious. Now this also calls for need to use oranges, because remember this is an orange chicken. And it wants me to put in a tablespoon of zest, which I'm just going to eyeball. Zest is when you grate the peel of an orange. There's a lot of strong flavor in the zest of an orange. So this really brings that orange flavor into the sauce. So what's something I definitely had to do before I grated this orange into my food? That's right, I had to wash this orange. Because who knows what germs are on there or what people have touched it. So you really have to clean off your orange rind before you peel it to put it in your food. Smells really good. Nice and orangey. You can start to see some of the orange flakes falling, maybe. I don't know if my camera's picking that up. But they're going in. And this is how you get that. They get that orange flavor in orange chicken. Zest. I'm also going to put the juice of this orange in the sauce. And I'm just going to do that by squeezing. I don't have a juicer, otherwise I would use that. So I just have to use my own brute strength. Oof. Juicy. And that's my sauce. Very, very rainy out today. It's supposed to be very rainy and bleak, which means gray and kind of gloomy this whole week coming up. So, if it does happen to be nice out, you should take advantage of that and go for a walk or play in your backyard. Go on the swings if you're fortunate enough to have swings. I wish I had swings. Just putting a couple things away that need to be refrigerated. Why shouldn't I keep these things out if they need to be refrigerated? Yep, they could go bad and we don't want that. Dirty dishes, I'm going to put in the sink because Miss L is going to clean them. Normally I wouldn't cook with my phone right here, but I need the recipe. And get stuff all over my phone. Okay. So another thing I have to prepare in this recipe is this chicken. I've already cleaned it off oops, that's not, this is my veggie cutting board. This is my meat cutting board. You should always have a separate one for veggies and meat, and then you're not going to get your meat germs because there could be foodborne contaminants in this. You won't get them on your veggies. So, I already patted this dry, so any of like the weird chicken juice that's in the package isn't on it. And this white strip here is just fat, so I'm cutting it off because I don't want the stringy fat bits in my chicken. I'm also cutting off any part that just looks unappealing, that looks a little gritty in texture. Gotta get this little bit of fat off. And then once this is done, I'm gonna cut it into 1/2-inch pieces. Ooh, that part's gotta go. So when you buy chicken, you also, if you see a lot of fat or gristle, that's the word I was looking for. If you see a lot of fat or gristly bits on it, you don't want to buy it because they're charging you per pound, and they will charge you for those fattening gristly bits that you don't want. Like, why pay for stuff you're not going to eat? Because I paid for this, and it's just fat and gristle and gross. That's a pile of gross that Miss L paid for. But there's chicken that has a lot more of it on there, so you gotta look at your chicken. You can't just grab and go. Gotta be a little picky. So now I'm cutting up the remaining bits, and this is what I'm going to use to replace my protein. Now this I'm going to put in the garbage, and when I put it in the garbage, I'm going to take it out and put it in my dumpster. Because if I leave it sitting under my sink, it's going to get stinky. So you got to take out the trash when there's things in it that are going to smell. Unless you want a smelly garbage. I mean, maybe you like the smell of, but I hope not. Anyway. Nope, Miss L missed a bit. So I'm cutting my chicken. And after I cut my chicken and it's ready to go, what should I do with my hands? They've been touching raw chicken. I should definitely wipe them all over my face, right? No? I shouldn't do that? Are you sure? You're right, I should wash them. It'd be gross if I didn't. Oh, this chicken. All right. You want them to all be cut about the same size. I mean, I do have some pieces that are a little bigger than others and some that are a little bit smaller, but you want them roughly all the same size. That way, when you cook them, they'll all cook through at the same time. I'm really excited to eat this once it's cooked. I might be able to show you a little bit of the cooking process, but once I really get going, I won't record it because I have a very loud fan over my oven that needs to be on. Otherwise, it gets a little steamy in here. It's so loud you won't be able to hear anything. Are clean. I'm going to put this aside. I'm also going to clean my knife because I'm going to use it immediately on some vegetables. And I don't want to get any germs from the chicken into my veggies. Okay. So this is my garlic. This recipe calls for 4 pieces of garlic, but I always find that I want less garlic than a recipe recommends. And my garlic cloves are pretty big. This is a clove. It usually comes in a full knob. And to peel garlic, you have to crush it under a knife, under your hand. I have the sharp edge of the knife facing outwards, and I'm holding my hand away from it and pressing down. Then the peel just comes right off. There we go. I had to put my body weight into it. And did you hear that crack? There's like a hard little shell kind of, sort of. Not really a shell, but there's a thick layer outside on your garlic you have to get off. You have to be really careful when you do that with your knife so that you don't cut yourself. So I hold my palm kind of like I'm making it into a boat. So I'm holding it this way, so it's just pressing down but not into it. And then I'm going to mince my garlic. I do that by cutting it into strips, and then I just cut across this way. And as you can see, I have little bits of garlic. It smells very garlicky. It's part of what makes this so good. You know, if my breath stinks, it doesn't matter because I don't see anybody, so, you know. And now I also have to take care of my broccoli. These are called broccoli crowns. You can get them in the grocery store this way. I washed them thoroughly. You have to make sure you really get in there because there's all these little nooks and crannies. And I'm just going to cut the stems away. Some people like to eat the stems. I don't, so I'm not going to. And what I'm left with are these little tree parts, and these are known as broccoli florets. These are what you get in like a veggie tray, you know, and you dip them in ranch dressing, and they're delicious. It's a very similar process to how you'd handle cauliflower, which is related to broccoli. But I'm just cutting off all my florets. And these are all the parts I need to make this dish. And what helps is having everything set up. I'm ready to go when I get over to the stove. I don't have to go back and be like, oh, I gotta cut up my broccoli. My broccoli is cut up. My garlic is cut up. It's over here hiding. My chicken is cut up and ready to go. So, now that I have all this done, I'm going to see if I can set this up at the stove. Alright, so we are back at the stove. I am heating up this pan. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in it, just so that things don't stick to its surface. It's non-stick, but I like to be doubly sure. You gotta swirl it around so your base is coated. While this heats up a little, in the background, I don't know if you can see it, this is Miss L's latte machine. And here's her coffees. They're all in jars because I bought them and then put them in new containers so that they're safe. Here's a Christmas card one of you made me. I have cards from someone else on the front of my fridge. Some rainbow Dobby cards. I have a dinosaur magnet. I don't think you can see that. Alright, so I'm heating up my pan. It's getting cooking. You'll hear some sizzling soon. I'm going to take a look at my... Alright. So the first thing I'm going to be cooking in here is this chicken. So once it heats up, I'm just going to dump this chicken in, and I'm going to put this cutting board in my sink because it needs to be cleaned. Soap, water, all that. Ooh, you can hear that sizzle. So that's going to take about 8 minutes to turn a nice golden brown color. So when I come back, it will be a little bit more cooked. So I finished cooking my chicken. I don't know if you can see it, but it's definitely that like lighter tan color with some darker brown sections that are like that nice golden brown. So I know it's been cooked more. I'm going to be returning it to the pan in a bit, so it's still going to have more time to cook. But first, I got to cook my garlic and my broccoli. And I want to cook them until my broccoli is a bright green color. And until they're not so stiff. So I'm going to do that. And I will see you again soon. So I cooked my broccoli and my garlic. That broccoli is very green. And then I added my chicken back in. And now I'm going to add the sauce. I have to keep cooking this until this sauce thickens and coats everything. Because that's where a lot, that smells really good. I just got like a big whiff of orange. I'm very excited. And this is where a lot of the flavor is going to come in. This looks really good. I haven't tried this recipe before, so just kind of winging it. When that sauce heats up, that cornstarch works to make it thicker. And everything is getting coated. Oh, this looks good. All right. We're looking good. So I'm going to turn off the heat. And even though I did that and I moved this burner is still very hot. You can see it's still red. So I don't want to touch it. I don't want to be near it. You got to give that thing some space. Now I'm going to get some of my rice from my steamer. There it is. I'm going to put some... make more rice later this week. That's okay. Putting some rice in the bottom. Freshly steamed. A little sticky, just how I like it. I'm going to take some of my chicken and my broccoli. Probably, I don't know where my ladle went. I usually have a ladle around. And that's what I would be using. Way to get sauce. All right, so I have my dinner. Let's see, it's steaming, but it looks good. So I'm going to enjoy this, and once I'm done, I'm going to clean everything up. But this was pretty quick and easy. And all I did was follow the recipe. I made myself a delicious meal. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Hey, I was rewatching the video I took yesterday, and I realized I ended it before I ate it. So I wanted to give you my feedback on the taste. I modified the recipe by putting in less garlic. I also only used one of the oranges. The recipe suggested I use 2 oranges, but I only used the zest of one and the juice from one, and I'm very glad I did, because the orange flavor in the dish was incredibly strong. So if I make it again, I would use even less orange. It was tasty overall. I don't think it had the same, I don't know. There's something about Chinese food. They just put something in it. It's probably, it tastes so good because it's not good for me, but it's not the same, but it was a good substitute. I definitely would put in less orange though. So, there's my hot take.